submitting a claim for compensation of pharmacy services for Kroll Computer Systems. First, you must select your patient. If your patient has never received a pharmacy service in the past, you will need to include this under their third-party plan choices. We're going to select Alberta Public Health Activities Program. Once we make this selection, a few things automatically populate for us. So it automatically becomes order number 2 because we've set Netcare as the first payer, or first plan rather. The next field that automatically populates for us is the carrier ID, which is 16, and the group and section has been automatically populated as well because these are standard carrier ID and group and section information for this particular plan. When it comes to the client ID, our patient's client ID is going to be their personal health care number. For our demonstration purposes, we use a standard client ID number or standard Alberta healthcare number. We will want to remove this checkbox in Always Use an RX. And the reason for that is we want to purposefully make that selection when we're billing for this particular service, when we're billing for that service. So under Relationship, we're going to choose Cardholder. And there's no other details that we need to populate at this time. So we can simply save that. So then you'll notice that it has popped down here under their plan information. So we'll make sure to save that information. And then the next field or the next screen that pops up again is what it's asking is, do you wish to add this plan to any other prescriptions that your patient has had filled in the past? For this purpose, we're going to say cancel. Then we can go ahead and create a new prescription. And how we find these service codes is by their abbreviation. So what I'm going to search for is a comprehensive annual care plan. In the drug record, they are all listed here. So we have a CACP follow-up assessment with APA. Then we have a follow-up assessment without APA, a CACP initial assessment with APA, and then of course without APA. For the demonstration today, I'm going to use a comprehensive annual care plan initial assessment with APA. So we'll make that selection. We'll return to the prescription, and it automatically takes you to the doctor search. What you're going to place in this field is the pharmacist who provided this service to your patient. What is entered in this SIG line will be heavily dependent on what your pharmacy prefers. For today, I'm simply going to put in assessment and the date that it was provided. But again, whatever details your pharmacy prefers will go in this SIG line. Your initials, as you're the person who's processing this claim, we provided one service. Days supply can be 0. And our system is set to require us to indicate whether it's written, oral, or faxed. So I will say written. I'll make this selection so we can see here that the fee is $125. This fee will change in the very near future. But at this point, it actually hasn't added the third-party plan that I want to be there. So I need to hit the drop-down, make the selection of that third-party plan. I'll hit enter just so that it can populate all of this information. It tells me that this is a fee-for-service prescription. But additionally, I need to go under the RX tab, and I need to go down to interventions/SA numbers or special authorization numbers. Once I make this selection, again, I need to go under the correct tab. And then I additionally need to make this choice of a special service code. So once you hit this drop down, you'll see that there's some options within here. Some of them are numbers, some of them are letters. For the service that we've provided today, the special service code is going to be Initial Assessment of Patient's Need, which is service code L. There's nothing else that we need to do here. We're going to say OK. Just hit enter. And again, we can see here that it's only going to bill to this particular plan. It tells me that my special service code is L. The fee is $125 at this point. We'll process this as a prescription. So when I review the patient's profile, I can then see under their profile that we have provided this assessment. I can drag this over a little bit further so I can see the information that's there as well. So it looks a little bit different in the status. So if we return to the RX, for demonstration purposes today, I'm going to demonstrate what it would look like if we provided a different service for our patient. So I'm going to search for patient, and under the drug record, I have two options. So there's a variety of things that our pharmacist can do for our patients. I'm going to choose patient assessment with APA. Again, the service fee here is provided. It's $20. Return to prescription. And then depending on what it is that our pharmacist has done for this patient, if they provided a renewal for a prescription, again, you would enter in the SIG field what your particular pharmacy prefers. I'm going to say renewal of Ramipro. My initials, because I'm the one who's processing it. We provided the service one time, day supply 1. Again, our system requires that we indicate whether it was written, oral, or faxed. The plan doesn't appear, so I must force that in. Hit enter, so it processes what I want it to. Again, I see my fee of $20. Back up into the RX, picking interventions, selecting the correct tab. Special service code in this case is going to be slightly different because my pharmacist has renewed a previous prescription for our patient. So I'll make that selection, say OK. Again, it tells me that this is a fee-for-service prescription. I see my special services code of F, and then I would simply process this through, and it would adjudicate to the plan. Again, back to the patient's profile, I can see that these two services have been provided. Again, these two services would not happen on the same day, just simply for demonstration purposes so that you can see how these two things get processed and how we process them in our system.